All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am very happy to welcome back to the show a legendary political strategist, Bush staffer. You know the deal. You know how many presidents she has been involved with between her and her husband, James Carville. We welcome back in Mary Matalin. Hello, Mary.
So you're a heartbreaker, too? Heartbreaker.
And I think we could sing. My fault, I didn't have the theme ready to go today for Mary, Mary, where you going to? That's the Monkees. And you just sang Heartbreaker, that's Pat Benatar. Maybe we could just sing songs.
Not very well. Neither of us.
No, I can't sing.
Well.
You sing great.
Let's keep our day jobs. Yeah,
well, I just want to also point out that you are a frequent co-host of a show called Both Sides Now, which is a radio show, correct?
Yes, I love radio. I do love radio, and you do a great job, so thank you for having me on.
All right, no, it's my pleasure. Okay, so let's get to it. I want you to hear something Nancy Pelosi said just today or yesterday. You know, it fits right in with Nancy Pelosi, but here it is.
I'm very proud of our House Democrats and how they have not only embraced the Affordable Care Act, because they helped create it, but how proud they are of it. I think that the Republicans are wasting their time using that as their electoral issue, and they will find that out.
All right. What do you make of that one?
This is the same woman who said she was never briefed on the CIA enhanced interrogation. It's all a kabuki dance. Obviously, they are scared, and they're trying to scrounge around for a strategy, and they've come up with, let's use Obamacare on the offense and attack Republicans for repeal, no reform. Well, Republicans have been working on reform, notably most recently with Paul Ryan, who has a full entitlement reform, which includes health care reform. So there's enough smart people in the Republican Party to push back on that. But it has always, this issue has, since inception, has always transcended health care. It's about the role and scope of government. And they are concerned about it, as is evidenced by the blue state, the red state blue Democrats who don't want to have anything to do with Obama, as is evidenced by what she's referencing, the Florida special. Like, I don't know Jolly, but National Republican Study was a horrendous candidate. He was outspent. Sink had everything through the kitchen sink at him, pun intended. And she lost. And that is not a Republican district. Bill Young was not a conservative. And it just points out what we know about midterm elections, which I've always loved. I've been doing this since '76. There are fewer numbers of people, but greater numbers of informed voters, and that's what will turn the tide in that one. Although special elections are not necessarily dispositive for the midterms, I don't see anything in the midterm elections that would portend anything but positive outcome for Republicans. Now, we know how to circle the wagons and shoot in, and we do a good job at that, but people just don't even listen to any of this garbage anymore. Long-winded answer to, do you think anybody is listening to Nancy Pelosi on that?
No. By the way, that was a jolly good pun that you made.
Oh, excellent.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
You are a heartbreaker.
Jolly good pun. And by the way, sunk. But that's not as good. Anyway,
awesome.
Yeah, we can keep going. We can sing, we can do puns, we can make jokes, but we do have to talk a little politics. So CPAC was a week ago now, I believe. What do you think came out of CPAC, if anything of any significance? Were you impressed by anybody in particular, or just everything as you expected?
I love when Republicans, conservatives talk the talk, when they have open debates, when they fight, when they get into it. I love the Rand Cruz, different approaches. In my personal opinion, the guy who's going to end up in the top tier wasn't there, which is Scott Walker, which is fine. But it's the issues and the agenda that are going to beat whoever the Democrats put up, and which I don't think is going to be Hillary. But there you saw a full panoply, not only of the range of options that are an alternative to Obama, in which answers the critics say we're only against or not for. We're for all kinds of stuff. And you saw a very deep backbench of intelligent, articulate candidates, would-be candidates or incumbents who can carry that message. I was in heaven.
Yeah, no, it was really good. I thought several speakers were fantastic. I was impressed with Governor Perry. I was impressed, which I expected to be, by Mike Huckabee. I think Rick Santorum gave, in my view, a great retort to Chris Christie's end of speech, saying, you know, if we don't get elected, we can't govern. And then Santorum says there are some people who want to just lose before we win by throwing away our principles in order to get elected. I thought there was a lot of good stuff there. Yeah.
All good, and I said of Santorum in the primary, last primary, that he was the full spectrum conservative. You know, there's no such thing. I love this myth that you can be a social liberal and a fiscal conservative.
Oh, thank you. I can't take, and you know what? I can't stand these radio hosts or these hosts of shows who say, you know, on some things I'm liberal, on some things I'm conservative, on some things I'm undecided. Well, then you're nothing.
Well, not only are you nothing, it presumes that social liberalism is free. It is not free. We've spent trillions and trillions of dollars, and now we've reached, this is why I like Santorum in the primary, we've now reached something beyond an economic disaster with all of these social liberal engineering. We have a moral crisis on our hands, and so many children are born out of wedlock, which leads to dysfunction in the education system and the justice system. So there's very bad consequences for the future, that are not just costly but are immoral. So you have to pick a side, and the only thing that has worked, not flawlessly, but has worked better than anything else, and you know what I'm going to say, is free markets and free people. And that requires leadership, and it also requires a virtuous citizenry. Virtuous citizenry requires informed citizenry, people who have to do more than vote. They have to understand these issues, and they shouldn't be distracted from that by saying that, you know, they have to wade through 2,700 pages. They get pass a bill to see what's in the bill in the first place, going back to Nancy.
Yeah.
Anyways, I feel very positive about all of this on the grounds of three elements that are increasingly present. Federalism, we see the states and cities are working better when they put in place conservative policies. So let them burn down Washington. Who cares? Every time they get involved, they make it worse. Fracking, which has geopolitical consequences and economic consequences, security consequences, and Facebook, where young people have this youth cohort that the Democrats think is static and going to be theirs forever. They connect to the world in a different way and can get bad information, certainly, but they can also get good information, and they will grow into their lives. So if we could just get more federalism and less Potemkin village, we could be on a good track.
Absolutely. We got a minute left, and of course Obama's latest poll numbers in the Wall Street Journal NBC News poll the other day, down to 41%. That's the lowest ever in that poll. And this, as he keeps going around, I got a pen, and raise the minimum wage, and populism. And today he wants Homeland Security to be more humane in the way they treat illegals. That means don't deport them. He doesn't stop, and his numbers keep going down.
Well, because he only has to get 50% plus one, so he's doing it through dissembling and pandering. What is interesting to me is, particularly in a midterm, the level of informed voters who really, some things just stick in their craw. They don't talk like the Beltway talks. What sticks in their craw is the absence, the flouting, as a matter of fact, flaunting of the eradication of separation of powers. They see that the president has changed Obamacare unilaterally 20 different times. They see that he's fundamentally changing, and they get that, and it doesn't smell good to them. It doesn't smack true.
Mary, always great talking to you. Thank you so much.
Let's do a sing-a-thon next time.
Okay, Mary, Mary, where you going to?
Heartbreaker.
Hey, we can, Matalin and Malsberg and Matalin, we could go on the road.
I love it. Heartbreaker. See you next time.
Take care. Bye. The great Mary Matalin, ladies and gentlemen. I love talking to her. On the Steve Malsberg Show, coming up with the final segment, which we have named. We'll let you know what we named it on the Steve Malsberg Show. Newsmax Television.
The Steve Malsberg Show.